Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a really tough question, one that almost every organization wrestles with. How do you build a company that's both rock-solid stable and incredibly adaptable? I know, it sounds like a complete paradox, right? But getting this right might just be the secret to surviving and thriving long-term. So let's dive right in and frame the central problem here. Because this isn't some abstract idea. It's a real tug-of-war that you can feel in pretty much any business. A constant battle between two forces that are both absolutely essential. Okay, think about it like this. On one side, you have stability. You need those clear processes, that solid structure. It's what makes you efficient and predictable. But if you lean too hard into that, you become rigid, a dinosaur. On the other side, you have adaptability. You've got to be flexible, innovative, ready to respond when things change. But, too much of that can lead to total chaos. And here's where it gets so frustrating for a lot of leaders. This conflict creates this endless, painful cycle. You either build this amazing, strong design that just slowly becomes irrelevant because it's out of touch with what's really going on, or you have these incredible creative ideas that just fizzle out because they never get translated into real, lasting change. But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if this whole conflict is actually a false choice? The most successful organizations out there, they don't pick a side. Nope. They build an integrated system where these two forces actually feed and strengthen each other. So here's the big idea, the key takeaway. A disciplined management system, that's your engine for stability. It's the backbone. But for adaptability, you need this practice called organizational development, or OD. You can think of OD as the organization's nervous system. It's what allows the company to feel, to learn, and to respond. And I love this metaphor. It makes it so clear. Management's job is to draw the best possible map. The org charts, the official processes, how work is supposed to get done. But we all know the map is never the territory. OD's job? To be the scout, to get out there and explore the real territory, to see what's actually happening on the ground. All right, let's look at that first pillar. How does a really disciplined management system go about building that all-important map for the organization? Well, it all starts at the very top with super clear business objectives. But it can't just stop there. Those big goals have to cascade down. They have to be translated into objectives for each department, and then all the way down to every single individual role. This creates this perfect line of sight so everyone knows exactly how their daily work connects to the company's biggest goals. But, how do you make sure the right person is in the right role? It's so much more than just ticking a skills box. That's where a framework like the Shake model comes in. It's a way more holistic view. Of course, you need the right skills. But what about their historical experience? Have they actually done this before? What's their attitude like? Do they fit the culture? Do they have the deep knowledge needed? And, maybe the most critical part, what's their emotional intelligence like? You look at all five, and you get a much better shot at putting the right person in the right seat. Okay, but here's the thing. No matter how perfect your map is, reality is messy. It's always going to be different. People create workarounds, unspoken rules pop up, and this is where that OD toolkit becomes absolutely essential. You can think of OD specialists as organizational detectives. They use some really cool tools, like highly structured interviews that look for patterns in language, to see beyond what people are just saying on the surface. They want to uncover the informal networks, the hidden power structures, how work really gets done around here. And one of the biggest things they're hunting for are these things called eternalites. These are the elephants in the room, you know what I'm talking about. Those chronic problems everyone knows about, but nobody dares to talk about openly. Maybe it's an old rivalry between two departments, or some cultural taboo, the stuff that silently kills productivity. Well, OD's job is to find it and name it. So to figure out the human landscape, they might use something like this, the orientation matrix. It's a brilliantly simple grid. On one axis, you have candor. Are people willing to speak up? On the other, responsibility. Are they willing to own the outcome? And boom, you can immediately see who's who. You've got your champions up here, high candor, high responsibility. And way down in the other corner, your passive resistors, low on both. Knowing who's in which box is, well, it's a game changer for getting anything done. So now we bring it all together. We take the map, we take what we learned from the territory, and we connect them. This is where the magic happens. This is how you create a system that actually gets better at getting better. It creates this amazing continuous learning loop, right? Management builds the map, reality happens, OD goes out, explores the territory, and finds the gaps between the map and reality.
Then you make very targeted fixes to close those gaps. And this is the most important step. You update the official map. You change the structure to reflect what you've learned. And then you do it all over again, forever.
This little mantra right here, this is the engine of a self-correcting organization. It's not about some huge one-time project. It's about building a permanent muscle, a capability that constantly turns real-world learning into real structural improvement, over and over and over. And that's why this matters so much. The goal isn't to build a perfect organization. That's a fantasy. The real goal is to build the permanent capability to learn and adapt. You're not just building a system that can solve today's problems, you're building one that can solve the problems you don't even know you have yet. So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. When you look at your own company, your own team, is it designed to rigidly last and withstand change? Or is it truly built to learn from change? The answer to that question really does make all the difference.